Hey guys, so before I jump into this Camp NaNoWriMo month-long vlog, I just wanted to sort of open up and tell you guys a little bit about how my month went, just because I feel a lot of the vlog clips were pretty scattered. I kind of just picked up the camera randomly throughout the month, more so towards the end. But this month was a huge struggle for me, and I kind of got that vibe from a lot of people. I don't think it was just me. I think a lot is going on right now for many people, and summer obviously is a really hard month to focus, but those are kind of just on the aside, because really I think you could argue every month life is just busy in general, and does it ever really let up, or is that a lie we tell ourselves? But are you gonna park out there like that? All right. To jump right into it, spoiler, I did not win Camp NaNoWriMo. I didn't even come close to winning. I put in a handful of hours, mostly with developmental things, but when it came to actually writing, I think I probably wrote a page, which is abysmal. Definitely the worst I have done in the history of any Camp NaNoWriMo or NaNoWriMo event. But to be completely honest, as much as in the past I would have felt really guilty about that, even if I would come on here and say, oh, there's lessons in failure, the truth is I don't feel guilty about that. And I have had a busy month, and so I don't want to be too hard on myself in that way. I just had my best friend's wedding, which I was maid of honor for, and the bachelorette party, bridal shower is wrapping up, planning my own wedding. I am taking a class this summer, which is finals week this week, so there was a lot going on in July. Most of the class is in July. It's a very quick paced class. Still working full time, also just kind of dealing with my own personal burnout feelings. But the truth is that my ultimate goal for this camp, and this is something I kind of had talked about in my last video, my chatty 1K video, was to fall in love with writing again, because I think that is something that I had lost in a big way. I don't blame my writing classes for that, or having deadlines. I think if anything, deadlines help me enjoy writing more, because it forces me to put aside excuses and to just do it. But in a way, I do blame myself for forgetting why I'm doing this. I think I got really caught up in the community of writing that I lost sight of the writing itself, which I have a theory that a lot of people are in that place, so hopefully this video is helpful. But I really wanted to find that passion again this month, and so I really, as much as part of me wanted to force myself to just do it, just get down and finish it and put in the work and put in the hours, I wanted this month to refocus on finding the love for it again. So a lot of times that meant not working on it when I didn't feel like working on it, or it meant putting time into research and character development instead of just putting in words, or it meant writing scenes that were out of order and I just felt like writing them. So that was really helpful, and I will say, even though I definitely failed Camp NaNoWriMo, I'm not going to make an excuse for that. I did succeed in finding that love again, and I hope that this vlog sort of shows my journey for it. You're going to see a lot of doubt. That's something that has been a very prevalent thing I've been experiencing this month. You're going to see me struggle with the difference between giving myself a break or making an excuse for myself. That's something I'm still trying to figure out, how you're supposed to know which is which. Maybe you guys have great advice for that, but I think it really comes down to listening to your why. You know, why do I feel I need a break from this? Like, why do I feel like not writing tonight? Why am I working on this story? You know, why do I write? What's my why? And that's something I set out this July to discover. Oh, and I had my birthday. I totally forgot about that. I had my birthday, which was very exciting. All right, I won't keep them anymore. I won't blabber anymore. So please enjoy my July Camp NaNoWriMo 2019 vlog. I haven't watched the clips back. I have no idea how chaotic it is, but I know it's very chaotic, and I apologize for that. It's Camp NaNoWriMo time. I swear I can sing, but apparently not jingles. Hi guys! It's been so long since I vlogged, I like don't know how to do it anymore. Just kidding, I always know how to do it. But it is July 1st. Oh, I didn't do my calendar flip. Oh no. Forgive me, but I promise, it is July 1st. Very exciting. And I haven't planned absolutely nothing for camp. Like, I haven't thought about what I wanted to do. I mean, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work on my book, but I haven't thought about, oh, it's getting foggy, how I want to structure my days. I haven't prepped for this in any way. My cabin has been super active and I have completely not been participating in that yet. So it is currently 5:30 and I have about an hour, I think, ish, until Zach gets home and we're gonna have dinner. So I thought, I'm gonna sit here and do some work. I don't know what that's gonna be yet. This is like a fail of a Camp NaNoWriMo. I swear I have this together. But what I had sort of ended with last camp was really focusing on the bigger picture better. So if you don't know, if this is your first time tuning in or watching my vlogs, I am currently revising the second draft, I guess you could say, of my novel, my first book I've ever written. Finishing the first draft was really exciting, but now I'm on the second draft and it's been a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. I mean, I feel like it could have been easy if I wasn't so focused on making it the best I know it can be. I just feel like after I finished it, I was really excited that I finished it and really proud of what I've done, but there was so much, I just felt like I could have done a lot better of a job. So I'm kind of re-outlining it and kind of refocusing it. And after meeting with my professor last year, he thinks that it actually would do better broken up, so as a series, because there was just too much for one book, and I agree with that. So I have a lot to add. So I'm basically rewriting it. Like, I can't even really call it a second draft because I'm rewriting most of it. And so I thought for this July, and I thought this like literally last night when I was thinking about the fact that camp started today. I thought I really should focus this month, obviously, on moving the story forward and hopefully getting, I have this number of 6 chapters done. Maybe I should just focus on 4 more chapters done, because that's like a chapter a week and that's a lot more sustainable. Yeah, I think 4 more chapters, which would put me at chapter 6, so 6 chapters done total. But a big thing I want to do is really make sure that the whole structure of the story, beginning, middle, end, everything is where it should be. I felt like my first draft was very plot driven. My characters were very shallow. I've talked about this a lot before, and I want to change that. So I actually started reading this book. I loaned it from the library and I literally just got like 10 pages in and I was like, okay, I'm really liking what he's saying so far. And I like that he has sort of like 22 steps for your story. And I thought it'd be fun for this camp to follow those 22 steps. Someone commented after I had mentioned this book that they read it and they didn't really like it. And I refrained from watching the review video. Just so you know, I'm sorry, I haven't watched it yet, only because I didn't want to be biased when reading it myself. I wanted to go into it with an open mind just because I did like the beginning of it. So we'll see what I think when I get to the end of it. But yeah, I thought I would document me going through this book a little bit and then obviously vlogging about my writing. Before I really get into the vlog though, I wanted to talk about, and I kind of talked about this in my chatty video, I think. I don't know, that video was all over the place. I'm a little sorry for that, but I wanted to talk about sort of a revelation that I had, and I did mention this I think in my chatty video, where I felt like I had forgotten to have fun with writing, and that I was so focused on like structuring out my goal, and I don't want to say keeping up with other members of the community, but just feeling like something was wrong with me if I wasn't going at it in that same way, such as like having a daily word count goal and I don't know, having all these future goals projected, and it's like, I just want to write. And I'd forgotten that that was my primary passion for why I'm even doing all of this, which seems like a silly thing to forget. But anyway, I'm trying to really focus this month on remembering that, and remembering I'm doing this because I love it, not because I'm trying to check off a checklist. And it's another reason I haven't really talked about this, just because it's so far off and there's a good chance I'll change my mind. So I change my mind on things all the time. But I think for NaNoWriMo next year, And it's gonna be a little hard because I am gonna be working on my story for my independent study in my master's program, but I think I want to do something totally different, like something I haven't plotted out before, something that like I'm not gonna tell anybody about, but just like writing a book that I don't think anyone's going to read, and just remembering how to have fun writing again. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So I'm going to be pretty lax this month. I think I have set the goal of just trying to do an hour every day, and I will continue to do that. I feel kind of silly just because I feel like every month I come at this process with a different approach. Last Camp NaNoWriMo in June, or in April, it was all about wanting to actually make progress and to stop stalling and to stop making excuses. And this month I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna learn how to have fun again. But I feel like that's kind of the fun of figuring out the process, figuring what works for you, because I feel like I haven't really found my stride yet as far as when I feel best about my writing. I've gotten a lot closer, and when I do feel best about what I'm doing is when I am really in the zone with a deadline, but not like crunching away at it every day in a really like structured sense, which isn't great. It's not fun to live life that way. I hate that like my best writing comes at like 12 to 6 a.m. just writing nonstop, because that's really not fun when you work full time. So I'm trying to figure out how to harness that energy in a way that I get to sleep more. Haven't figured it out yet. So yeah, I better get started. I think it'll be fun. Like I said, I don't know how much actual writing I'm going to get done today as far as in my manuscript. Maybe I'll like just go in and write like a sentence so I can say I did it. But mostly I'm going to be following these steps and taking notes alongside it for how it will relate to my story. Okay. And I also know a big one everyone's been raving about is Save the Cat novel, and I haven't read that yet, and I've heard amazing things about it, and I feel like I need to read it. But I'll read this one first and see how I feel about that. Okay. Let's go. And it's summer, so it means I have a lot of these. Oh yeah. Okay, I changed into my PJs, but now I'm definitely getting to work. Why is it so hard to get to work? As you watch your story grow before your eyes, I can promise you one thing: you will enjoy the creation. So let's begin. Oh yeah. So editing my last video took way longer than I thought, as it always does. I don't know why I think it's always gonna take just like an hour. It used to only take an hour, and those days are gone. Used to only take like 15 minutes, but yeah. This video is so long, I have no idea if anyone's gonna watch it. I will not be offended if you don't watch it. Like, I just had fun filming it. I feel like I just needed to get all my thoughts out there. So if you like chatty videos, this one's for you. But I'm gonna go to bed. I only did like 20 minutes on day one, so I'm hoping to get more done tomorrow. And I wanted to wake up really early tomorrow to go for a run before work, and I just don't know if that's gonna happen. Like, that's really optimistic of me. Oh, I really want to though. Maybe I'll try. I'll set my alarm and see how I feel, which is gonna be tired, but you never know. Maybe I'll do it. It is day 2, and I didn't close the vlog because it took longer than I thought it would to edit my video. I always think I can do it really fast, and that's a lie, so. But my hair is wet, by the way, not super greasy. I wouldn't put it past me for it to be this greasy, but it's not. So today I did some more brainstorming. I actually did it on the train because I had an extra long train ride because I took the wrong train by accident. Oh my god, I feel like my life is falling apart before my eyes. But, silver lining, I got a lot of brainstorming done, and I have a new idea to implement maybe. Oh, I know what I actually really want to talk about. Hang on, let me make sure my tea's done first. Okay, I have my tea now. I hope you can hear me over this fan, but I need my fan. So I met with my advisor today, and we were going over my independent study coming up and also my thesis that I start next year. And the meeting was sort of to get an idea of what I wanted to focus my work on and what I felt needed the most attention, like what aspect of the craft I really wanted to focus on, not just for my independent study but for my thesis as well. So and also she assigns me a faculty member to work with for both the independent study and the thesis. And we can also have an outside author, which, like, in my head it's like, you know what, I should just ask Stephen King and see what he says. What have I got to lose? Maybe he's bored, maybe he wants to take on a project. But anyway, but I'm really excited. And one thing I didn't know about the thesis, so for the independent study we have to focus on a specific element of the craft in our creative work that we think it needs the most of, and I decided, and she agreed, that point of view is an issue I've been having, and it's one I've been having from the very beginning. I don't know how many times I've complained to you guys or mentioned to you guys I decided to switch point of view, and so I'm actually going to work one-on-one with a faculty member within the literature program, the English department, to really sit down and figure out what will work best for the story I'm trying to tell, which I desperately need a professional opinion. And then for my thesis, I have to do a craft essay, and she said it can be about something totally different from independent study, or I can focus even more on it and sort of go in depth on a specific element of craft. So like, let's say I choose point of view, and sort of go into depth on really a study of why certain, like what the point of view does in a story. Like, why do you choose a certain point of view? Like, why choose first person versus third person versus multi-perspective, and what that does for the story. Like, one example she said was sometimes multi-perspective is used to show emotional ranges within a story that a single perspective couldn't show. She said it a lot more eloquently than I did, and she made it sound so cool. And so I'm really excited to start that. I take that with her in the spring. It's like a pre-thesis class. Like, I don't really know what it's called, but yeah, we're going to be working on a craft essay, a long essay I assume too, not just like a short little essay. I love writing essays, you guys know this. But I wanted to share that because I'm really excited about that. You know, I'm ready to start. Like, I feel like I've had this goal of finishing my novel for so freaking long, and I finished the first draft. I'm basically revising it, and I always thought for my thesis I was going to write my second book, whatever it is, like whether it was a sequel or just a second novel. I feel like at this rate I'm going to, well, no, because but I feel like at this rate I need to be open to the fact that maybe I will be revising it, but I don't want to be, because I want to pitch it for next summer. So I guess what I'm saying is, if next summer I'm not able to successfully pitch it in the program to the agents we're meeting, maybe I can use my thesis to do a final draft wherever my novel's at. But I really don't want to do that. I want to be done by then because I want a completed book. I don't know, I have stuff to figure out. But yes, on the train I did a lot of thinking. I'm going to sit right down now and write down all the ideas that I had, that I came up with, the thoughts I had. Zach actually brainstormed a really cool idea for me as well. He's been helping me work through some plot holes, which has been awesome just to have that outside perspective, and he's very good with that element of things. So it's nice to have a fresh brain to bounce things off of, and who can tell me if something makes sense or not, because he's not living up here, though he is living it. So after I finish writing my notes, I actually have to take my summer class for the week because it's due tomorrow at noon, and obviously I work, so I can't exactly do it tomorrow you know, last minute like I always do. So I'm gonna try and finish it up tonight, and I'm nervous about it. I can't remember if I mentioned it in yesterday's clip, but yeah, I'm doing poetry now, and I know nothing about poetry, like zilch about poetry. So I feel like it's my really weak point. I feel like a lot of people, they can read a poem and instantly understand what it's trying to say, and I don't. I feel very stupid in that element because it takes me a long time to like read through the metaphor and figure out what the heck it's trying to say. I'm not very good at analyzing them. So I'm really nervous about this class because it's going to be hard for me. It's going to be a challenge, but I think it's going to make me a better writer overall to appreciate the medium more, because I do appreciate it. I love when I do connect with a poem, or when a poem is described to me and it makes more sense. Like I remember when I read even just Romeo and Juliet. I don't know if you can argue, I mean it is poetry, but it's a play as well, but any of that like just heavy metaphor, old type English, like Jane Austen, I mean that's not a poem, but just the way she writes that old English style, I am not good, or Victorian English I should say, it's not old English, but I'm not good at it. I want to get better though, because I don't know, it is an insecurity of mine that I'm not able to understand that type of literature as easily as other people can grasp it. Like I just have to read it really, really slowly and really like look up each word. I'm somebody, if I am reading and I don't understand a word, I have to look it up. Like I can't just skim it and guess, because like I'm afraid I'm gonna guess wrong and then I'm gonna misunderstand what they're trying to say. And so when I'm reading, I'm always asking Zach what a word means, and he either knows or he has to look it up. But if he's not there, I always just on my phone, I'm Googling it. I used to, this is like, I'm totally rambling now, but I used to actually carry a dictionary with me when I read, like a little pocket dictionary, and I would look it up, and then I discovered there's dictionary apps for when you don't have internet. I don't have it on my new phone. I should download it because it'll make it reading easier. And the Kindle, that's one of the big benefits of having a Kindle, is you can just like click on the word and it will pop up a definition, which is really cool, and it's helped my reading a lot. But I will say the longer I've been doing this, I do understand words more. Even this late in my life, like I know I'm not old, but my brain is 26 years old, so it's not as sponge-like to absorb no new vocabulary. But since I've been doing this since, when did I start? I haven't always done it. I would say 21. I do feel my vocabulary has gotten better, like exponentially better. I'm still not good at pronouncing words, just because I mostly read them and don't ever say them out loud, but I'm starting to pick up on words that I see more often that I don't necessarily hear. And I think it was one of those things that Stephen King wrote in On Writing, like not to bother to advance your vocabulary because you're not gonna be that successful at it. And I do have to say I disagree with that, because I have found I have successfully advanced my vocabulary, at least reading wise. I do use bigger words now. I'm making myself sound really dumb, but you have to understand, I didn't take any English classes in college because I did so well in my AP exams in high school, in the English program, that I just didn't take them in college, like at all, like not even freshman year, because I was a bio major and my AP exams count as English. And so, I mean, not that that's an excuse, and in high school English, I didn't always pay the best attention. So I feel very insecure about my education level in traditional English and literature. Creative writing is different, just because I read a lot, and I do write a lot, but analyzing literature is not my strong point, and that's kind of why I'm in school for it, to help get better at it. Because I do want to get better at it, and I do want to read the great works, just because I think it will make me a stronger writer, especially if I want to include elements of parallels or allude to certain literary masterpieces in my own work. I can't really do that right now because I don't know what the story is. I only just read Romeo and Juliet in high school, not for only just, I was in high school a long time ago, but I didn't read it for class. I did it because I had never read it before. Same with Lord of the Flies. And so that's one thing, I think I've even talked about this before too. I always say that because I'm really self-conscious about repeating myself, because I know I do it a lot, but so you just gotta tell me if I've made a point too many times. But I really want to read more of the classics. I've been trying to read Pride and Prejudice. It is a good story and I can tell it's really fun, but it is hard to read through. It's a different style. It's not simple YA or Dan Brown where I can just fly through it and not have to worry about understanding the prose and taking my time. But it is kind of fun to read a book that you do have to take your time with as well. And one of the big books I want to read that I don't know if I'm gonna make it is Moby Dick, just because I know that's like a really big classic and our fish is named after a character in Moby Dick, so I feel like I should read it. But yeah, I recently read Wuthering Heights a few years ago for the first time, and I read, what book did I read I really liked? It's funny, a lot of people say they don't like certain classic books, but I find when you read them on your own, like I really like them. Like a lot of people didn't like A Catcher in the Rye, but I read it in college just for myself, and it was really good. Like it was such a fun story, and I can see why it's a classic. Another big one I want to read is Huckleberry Finn. I read it in high school. I was not a good high school English student. I was good in that like I took exams well and like I write essays well. I hate writing essays, but I've always been good at it. I don't mean that in a braggy way, but just I think in a very outlined format very naturally, so it's easy for me to organize an essay, believe it or not, because I ramble so much in real life, but when it comes to writing I am a lot more organized. What's my point with all of this? This started as just an update of what I'm doing tonight to write with, and now we are talking about essays, and this is not what I planned to say. Okay, I'm going. Goodbye. I have work to do. Stop distracting me. Happy 4th of July. I probably won't be writing today, but I just wanted to pop on and say hello. Happy 4th. Happy birthday, America. Today I researched some things about the Revolutionary War because I realized I know very little. And fun fact for you, what did I learn that was fun? I always thought that this Declaration of Independence started the war, but it started before the war, about a year before. I mean, the war started a year before the Declaration. Most of you probably know that. I didn't know that. Now you know. I haven't been writing. There it is. I have not been writing. I've been doing a lot of planning. I keep writing notes in my phone when I think of it, but I haven't been writing. And I was talking to my friend Erin, she's been on my channel before, about this. I don't know why I keep doing this, setting these goals that I know I'm not going to meet. Even when I set them, I know I'm not going to meet them. I do this not just with my writing, but with everything in my life. And it only sets me up for guilt, disappointment, frustration. It's never success. And this is something I've mentioned before, and I keep scaling back my expectations, but then I still just get this burst of maybe this time I can do it. And I'm not meaning this in a bad way or to speak poorly about myself. I kind of wanted to talk about a revelation that me and Erin sort of made together. And it's kind of to do with more of our fitness goals we had for this summer. I've been trying to lose weight, get in shape, and it has been a very slow process and one with many setbacks and leaps forwards and leaps back. And it's just been, for anyone who's ever tried to lose weight, you know it's very frustrating. But I feel like we tell ourselves, or people tell us, like, you know, all you can do is do the best that you can do, you know, don't beat yourself up too bad. But the truth is, I have not been doing the best I can do, and that goes with my writing too. I know I have a lot on my plate, and I've been forgiving of myself that way, but I know I have not been doing my best, and I'm confessing that to you guys. Like, there have been many hours wasted every single day doing stupid stuff that I don't even really want to be doing, like browsing the internet, wasting time on YouTube, watching countless videos. And while I do think there's a huge importance of having downtime, I get so overwhelmed with everything that I have going on this summer that I it's not even like I'm enjoying my downtime, I'm just tuning out. And that's not helpful in any way. It's making everything much worse. And so I know I haven't been trying my best, and that's disappointing to accept. But what we were talking about was, you know, when you do disappoint yourself and you do let yourself down with your goals, at least I have a tendency to then wallow in that guilt and hide and further hide and continue to let my goals pass me by and just beat myself up and pity myself. And I think I'm just at this point, and I think everyone should be at this point too, you know, where I just need to accept it, like, and move on. You know, tell myself, yep, didn't do the best I could do. I accept that, but now I'm gonna move on. My mantra for this week is basically to tell myself, it's okay, I've been lazy, I accept that, and now I'm moving on. So it is June 8th, nope, it's July. It's July 8th, and I've written less than an hour. I think I've done like 40 minutes or 41 minutes, something really low. And that's just the neutral truth of it. That's what I've done, and I'm moving on from it. So right now, with everything I have going on, this summer is just not a good writing summer. I have too much that needs to take priority due to events and things. And I hate saying that because I want my writing to always be #1 priority. But right now in my life, I have things other people are counting on me for. So to remove some of that pressure, instead of trying to write every day, I think I'm going to do something that a lot of people don't recommend just because you'll like get out of your story too much, but I'm just gonna have a designated day per week. So on Sundays, I work from home Monday, so I don't have to worry too much about like having to get up early. I mean, I have to get up at 8 still, but whatever. But I think Sunday evenings are going to be the best time for me to write because Zach will be going to bed earlier, and the truth is I just write better when I don't have distractions and like people around me. So Sunday nights after Zach has gone to bed, that's when I'm going to sit down and try and write as much as I can. I'm not going to set a time limit. I'm not going to set a page limit. I'm just going to try it out this week, see how it feels, and hopefully that will go smoother instead of feeling like I've done nothing and then just continue to do nothing because I am hiding away from my responsibilities, which that's what's happening essentially. So if you're like me and have a tendency to wallow in your guilt when you inevitably fail at something or have been lazy at something, accept it, accept the truth, and just move on. Don't let it carry you anymore. Don't let it burden you down and immobilize you. It doesn't do anyone any good. You know, obviously we want to learn from our lessons, and I think a lot of people carry that guilt because they think, oh, it will help me learn my lesson, but does it really? Can you not just know that about yourself? Like, know you haven't been trying without it having to impact you so emotionally that you just feel guilt all the time? Like, I don't think we need it. I don't think we need the guilt. That's my personal opinion. How do you guys feel about that? Hey guys, I am going to film this really quickly while Zach's out on a run. I forget in orange and in red my face looks super pink, so I'm sorry about that. Not wearing any makeup. Oh my god, I'm like super pink though. Today is the 22nd, I think, of July, and I really still haven't started NaNoWriMo, Camp NaNoWriMo. I've been struggling lately with trying to figure out the difference and the balance between being forgiving of yourself and gentle with yourself, but not making excuses for yourself. And I feel like I'm not doing a very good job with that this month. I do have a lot going on. That is not an excuse. However, writing I always want to be a priority for me, especially when I do want to make this, hopefully ideally one day, a full-time thing. And so the fact that I haven't been prioritizing it, especially during this month, has really weighed heavy on me, and it's got me in this funk. It's hard to drag yourself out of a funk when the thing that's going to make you feel better is also going to be another thing on your plate, but I think I just have to do it because if I can handle doing it now, then nothing's gonna stop me. It kind of goes with what I was saying in the last clip. I don't even know when I filmed that. It was probably a week or two ago. But today, Zach was asking me how my day was, and lately my day's always just been fine. Like, okay. Like, nothing special. And I said to him, I was like, I'm tired of just having okay days. Because I feel like I've been having okay days for months now. And it just feels... It feels like I'm just doing the 9-to-5 grind, and I hate it. I mean, I don't hate what I do. Like, I really do enjoy my day job, but it's, you know, there's so much more I want out of life, and there's so many more things I want to be doing. And I do think I have been a little bit too forgiving with myself, and right now is a busy time in my life, and I need to figure out how to keep writing even during those times, because I don't think it's necessarily ever going to be easier. I think it's just always going to be different. You know, right now I'm in school and working, but in the future, you know, I might have a kid, and it's certainly not going to be easier then. It's just going to be different, and so I need to figure this out. And I'm tired of feeling like I'm just making excuses, because I think that I have gone on to that pendulum. I'm feeling better mentally as far as not feeling overwhelmed. I think I finally got the rhythm of this summer, even though this summer now is like halfway over. But it's making me optimistic of, okay, I need to fit this high priority back into my life, which is writing. So I'm about to go on a run. That's something else that we are taking very seriously this summer, and is our health and fitness. I have lost 16 pounds. I don't know if I've mentioned that, so that's something that has been a big priority this year for us as well. Though I've had a whole year to do that, and it took me a long time to do it, but that's okay. Slow and steady. And now with fall coming up, when my story is really going to get into crunch time, I want to have it in a better shape by the end of the summer. So I think August is going to be the best month to do that. I won't be in classes anymore, and I'm only taking one class this summer, so while it will be nice when it's over, I'm not gonna, I don't feel burnt out from it like I did in the spring when I had 2 classes going on, so that's good. And the class I am taking now, the poetry class, is such a lighter workload than the other class I would have taken. I am so glad I didn't do that. See, that's one of the things I feel like I was being easy on myself, not making an excuse, because it made my life better overall. So maybe that's like a good way to figure out the distinction is me putting in this effort going to make my life better, or is it going to make it harder? And I guess that's part of life, is figuring that out. And I haven't been doing a very good job this summer. I've been really neglecting my channel. I just haven't, I feel like I just don't have anything to post right now. Like, I have fun videos I want to do, but I really wanted a vlog to be the next thing. So I think Zach's back from his run, so I'm gonna go. I got a lot to do tonight. It is now 1 week left to Camp NaNoWriMo. Wow. You didn't think you'd get away with no messy hair, did you, in this vlog? It's not possible. So last night, I did work on my story a little bit, mostly just doing some more reading in the anatomy of story, which I have not really touched since I last checked in with you guys about it. I realized I'm almost scared to sit down and work on it, which is a weird thing to say. It's my story, but I'm like scared of it. I haven't touched it in so long, since like the beginning of the month, and I feel like I just need to finish the chapter I'm on, even if it kind of sucks. just to get back into it, and just to, I don't know. It's a long story short. Let's summarize the rest of Camp NaNoWriMo without getting too overambitious, because I'm trying not to set myself up for failure, but I'm also trying not to set myself up for excuses, because it's a hard line to follow, or a hard thing to balance. I have 1 week left at Camp NaNoWriMo, and I do have a wedding. God, my hair is a disaster. I am in a wedding on August 2nd. My birthday is July 31st, but between now and August 2nd, I don't have too much extra things going on. Pretty much everything is done. I've written my maid of honor speech. Yes, Jessica, I did it in advance. Thank you very much. She told me I was gonna write the night before, but I didn't. I wrote the week before. Big deal. See, I have been writing, just not on my novel. and I don't have an essay due until another big homework assignment due until August. So really there's not too much for me to do other than the normal stuff. Nothing big coming up. I just feel finally ready to start trying again. I admit I think I had stopped. And I hate that. I hate when I do that, but I have a tendency, I think, that when there's so much going on and I feel so overwhelmed, I freeze. And, you know, I don't just completely quit, but I don't just, oh my hair is a disaster. I don't just completely quit, but I go on autopilot and I go on reserve and I just manage to stay afloat and I can't quite manage to catch my breath. And that's how I have felt for a while. I still don't want to develop that go, hustle life, crank out those word count goals. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I found that that is very demotivating to me because I fall behind very quickly. Same with, like I said, I'm working on my fitness, working on my weight loss, and I'm the same way with that. Like if I have these hard numbers, I tend to get demotivated because all it takes is one time when you don't hit it and then you just feel like a failure. At least for me, I'm very easily demotivated, so I have to be careful of what strategies I use to track my progress. And but I am glad in a way that I kind of took a little time this month to remember why I write. And that's something I kind of talked about in my chatty video, and I think even in the beginning of these vlogs was, you know, I'm doing this because I like doing it. And I never want to forget that. Like, I'm writing my story because I love the idea of my story and it's fun. And so I don't want to get so lost in hitting my goals that I completely lose sight of that. So at the end of the day, that's what's really got me back into feeling motivated and inspired, is I want to tell this story because I think it's a good story and I'm having fun telling it, and I want to learn the best way to tell it. I think it's amazing to look at the progress I've made, to read the first chapter or the first draft and compare it to just even the few chapters I have now is amazing. And like to see the progress I have made in my own writing journey. I mean, you guys kind of saw some of it in my short story video of before and after. I think I've come a long way in this short amount of time just by taking my craft more seriously, and I love learning how to advance my craft. And so remembering that and remembering my reason why has been a huge help. And so I guess I encourage you, if you have been feeling demotivated, you know, this video is going to come out at the end of Camp NaNoWriMo, but if you're watching this before NaNoWriMo or next year's Camp NaNoWriMo, if you happen to find it, and you find yourself feeling demotivated, I think just remembering your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you write? Why do you want to win camp? Why do you want to finish your book? Why do you want to write this particular book? Remembering that is a huge help of feeling motivated and wanting to make progress. You know, if I sit there and say, I want to write for an hour because I want to hit my Camp NaNoWriMo goal, that's not very motivating for me, because winning Camp NaNoWriMo is cool and all, but like, that's not my life ambition. Like, at the end of the day, I don't really care if I win Camp NaNoWriMo or not. But if I sit there and remember, I want to finish this because I want to finish my book, I want to publish my book, and I have this dream of being able to support myself as an author, or at least be able to write more than one book and publish these books and inspire young readers like how I was inspired, and help people feel not so alone. That's my why. And that really does motivate me. That makes me feel like, oh my God, I want to sit down and write. So that's my advice for today. Remember your why. Alright. I originally brought out the camera because Kimmy was being very active, and I wanted to show her on camera because she has been hanging out with me a little bit, but as soon as I started talking, she ran away, so same. used to that. Also, I have a confession. I don't know why I'm sharing this with you, but I feel like I have to tell people because in real life I'll be too embarrassed to tell people. But Zach and other people who know this about me think I have an unhealthy obsession with her, but if you follow me on Goodreads, you may notice that I tend to read a lot of Candace Cameron Bure's books, even though they're super religious. I am not religious. She has a lot of views that I do not agree with, and I want to make that clear. But I just have an obsession with her. I think it's because I'm a huge fan of Full House, or I was growing up, and like she just seems like she has her life together. Anyway, so she put up her clothes for sale, some clothes from her closet for charity on like the Saved collection. It's like this website, blah blah blah. Anyway, I bought something. I paid like $50 for this. I think it's like actually a really nice blazer. Oh, there is Kimmy. Kim, what are you doing? What are you doing? Interrupting my video? I bought it because it was hers and she wore it and now I own it. And I don't know what to say else about that other than I'm really excited to get it. It's probably not even gonna fit me because she's like the size of a twig and I'm not, and it's a size small and I do not wear a size small blazer, but maybe one day it will fit, and if not, I'm just gonna have a blazer in my closet until I die, knowing that it was Candace Cameron Bure's and now it is mine. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that unhealthy obsession I have with Candace Cameron Bure. I don't understand it either. Okay, now I'm gonna get to writing. I keep telling it to, but this thing just won't write itself. It's very annoying. Sometimes I wonder just how much like trash I can look like in each video clip. Getting pretty close. But I just wrote for like half an hour on my story for the first time since like July 1st, or whenever I first touched it, or last touched it. And I think it actually went pretty good. It was a lot easier than I was afraid it would be. I think I've been ready to dive back in for a while, so that definitely helped. And I do have an outline of where I want the rest of the chapter to go, so really it's just a matter of writing it. I know what I want to say. So that helps. But I'm gonna go to bed. It is past midnight. Kimmy is wide awake, chewing on a toy. I would show you, but my apartment is so beyond messy right now, guys. Oh my god, I'm too embarrassed. And she scratched me. Like, I fed you. Be grateful. I think she thought I was going to get her food. Trust me, Kimmy, I do not want your nasty cat food. Talking about my cat again. I don't want to become one of those people. Okay, I am going to bed. I'm also, this week, see, I get way too ambitious. When I'm like feeling good, I take on way too much. It's not a good balance, but I really want to cut back my caffeine, and so I'm trying not to drink coffee in the morning or during the day. I'll let you know how that goes. I'm gonna try decaf tomorrow. Why are you awake? Why are you driving around? It's late. Okay. See you tomorrow. Good morning. My hair's not brushed and it's greasy. That's fine. I've been working a little bit on my story. I'm still not going to reach my Camp NaNoWriMo goal, but that is fine. I'm getting back into the daily habit of thinking my story, writing my story, so I'm not going to stress about it. But one thing I have been over stressing about today is that I'm worried, and please forgive me if you are a long-time watcher, because I know this has been a reoccurring thing that I keep bringing up, but I'm worried about my opening chapters. I feel like they're too static and that they're not interesting enough scenes. This is why my original first chapter was super action-packed, but I was afraid it jumped too much into the story and you just didn't know what was going on. And it focused on a character I didn't want it to focus on. I wanted the focus to be on the more young adults of my story, hence it being a young adult story. And so I feel like it makes more sense for the story to start with the scenes that it is starting with, just story-wise. But I'm afraid they're too slow. And you don't want your first few chapters, especially with young adult, to have that slow opening, because you're trying to hook these teenage youths to keep reading your story. And I just, it's a big fear of mine, which is why I am super excited to start my independent study in September, where I will be working one-on-one with somebody again with my opening chapters. And originally, I'm gonna burn these eggs because this is really hard to do one-handed. Originally, I was just gonna focus on POV, but I kind of just wanna be like, look, can we just like focus on these few first chapters in general? Like, which I'm sure we will do anyway, so I think I'm overthinking it, but when, where, and how to open a story is probably one of the most stressful parts for me. Just because in my head, it's like, I'm so much more relaxed about the remaining words and pages. Like, obviously they'll still be good and you want people to keep reading, but like that first chapter, I mean, when you query an agent, you send them your first 3 chapters. I mean, it's a big deal. You want those to be perfect. And mine are not perfect, I don't think, but maybe they are. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe they are interesting and I'm just like getting in my head. I don't know. I gotta flip these eggs, they're gonna burn. Okay. Oh my god, it's the same day and I look so different. So I dyed my hair because I'm going through a crisis. Just kidding. Also, do not look at my forehead. I messed up. And I always get the dye on my forehead. And then I look like I have a dirty forehead for a couple days. It's great. It's fine. And I just ate a whole box of pearled couscous. And it was a huge mistake. Anyway, this is a writing channel. So I think I've done like 3 hours. So it's just, you know, unless I literally sit down for 27 hours, like a whole day and just write, it's not gonna happen, but that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, I'm upset about it, but it's okay in that there's nothing I can do to change it, so we're gonna move on. So, I feel like the gods are telling me to get to work, because here I was just sitting, getting ready to do some research, you know, on my Nancy Drew Legend of the Crystal Skulls game, to do some research for my book, research. Zach's making fun of me. And I can't find the second disc, and this has never happened before. Like, I have them all in here, and disc 1 was in here, and the second disc is just vanishing. And so we've been like kind of spring cleaning around, well, not really, but going through all of our stuff to find this disc. So the gods are telling me to stop procrastinating, but the gods don't know how persuasive I can be with myself. So we'll find it. We'll figure it out. I'm doing my research. Alright, so I worked a little bit on my notes, and I want to say my game actually did help me, just because I realized, and it seems super obvious now, but there's not a single character in my story that doesn't believe in the Crystal Skulls, which, if you don't know what I'm writing about, it's a story based on the Legend of the Crystal Skulls, hence my video game, which is a real legend. It's not like I'm just copying my Nancy Drew game or Indiana Jones or anything. But yeah, I like, all of my characters just, I know it sounds so stupid, but they all kind of just believe it, and like all the outside characters, the B-list characters, whatever you want to say, like maybe they don't, but none of my main characters don't believe in it, or like don't believe they exist. And it seems super obvious now that I need some characters to cast out, or at least have that back and forth, especially in the beginning. Later on in the book it becomes clear that there's more to me than meets the eye, but yeah, so I will say my gaming did help me. So there you go.